evening, Kerry.
So thank you for coming up this evening. You're going to be later on DJing live in the studio, and I will make sure I Facebook Live that as well while you're doing it. But to start off with then, just give us like a bit of an idea about yourself and how you got into DJing on the island.
A bit of a late starter. I was always sort of more of a disco dancer. Loved getting on the stage, had a few little paid spots around the clubs, sort of 88, 89, and I was getting into the music more, sort of the new romantic stuff was dying away, and we had like Chicago house, and then the piano house came along, an Italian house, and that got me gripped. I loved it. So I was enjoying going out, but to me, certain establishments that I frequented weren't doing enough of the up-to-date music. And then we had the Manchester sound come along, which was absolutely fantastic at the time. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I do now. I'm a bit older. And I thought to myself, they're not playing enough up-to-date, and there was an audience out there. So I got my chance in 88, and the late, great John Westall, who used to co-present the rock show at Manx Radio on a Saturday evening, I think it was. John says, do you want to learn the decks? And I said, go on then. So I went into the Broadway bars, as it was in them days, and it was quite a hectic place. John, the manager, was there. I don't know if John's still with us, but he was John behind the bar, and John Westall. And I started, he had a big old Citronic double decks, belt driven, and a couple of CD players, and I just took to it. And within sort of a few months, I was mixing vinyl on belt driven, and it wasn't easy, and I wasn't the best, but I persisted. And the place, I mean, there's DJs around now that used to frequent the place quite often, and they'd be there enjoying themselves. But it was all shell suits and track suits and trainers.
I was actually talking about shell suits the other day to someone. You know, they've just completely died out, haven't they?
Yeah, gone. You never see them anymore. You see tracksuit bottoms and occasionally you see tracksuit tops. But
I think they were highly flammable, so maybe possibly putting children in them wasn't the greatest idea.
No, definitely not.
And maybe not in a club dancing with close proximity to having people with cigarettes either.
Yeah, and you were allowed to smoke in them days. But they were happy days, my early days in the Broadway bars. I remember them fondly. And unfortunately, John Westall passed away last year. He emigrated to Australia. And it's mainly to John that I owe starting off. So, yeah, happy days.
So that was kind of like the late 80s into the early 90s.
Yeah.
So how has like the nightlife scene for you developed over the past 30 years?
I enjoyed the early rave stuff, which you couldn't hear around the Isle of Man. There was very, very few places. Sort of the hardcore uproar, LFO and tricky disco, sort of more commercial stuff. But there was a lot of underground stuff as well, and the early rave scene of the early 90s. As one or two of my mates remember the reflections in the basement. But no, it was a good music scene, but I decided to go with what was around at the time and try and keep it as up to date as possible. Left sort of the new romantic stuff and soft rock 80s stuff. I left it behind and tried to keep up to date. And in 1990 to 91, I had a residency in Smugglers, which was the former Jar Bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very successful sort of 16, 18 months down there, and really took off. I enjoyed it down there. It did well.
So when you're DJing sort of out and about now, do you stick to early 90s stuff, or do you play a bit of a mix? What's kind of like your thing?
For me dance nights, I'm sort of a bit of a stickler. I like sort of 88 up to 2005. I'm not much after not for dance nights. You couldn't get the vinyl. It went too much EDM for me. For me dance nights, I keep on the vinyl. I keep to them 17, 18 years. For functions, weddings, parties, whatever, then anything goes.
Well, I suppose that's different because they
Yeah.
are paying you to do it, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they want to hear the music that they want to hear.
Oh yeah, Steps, S Club 7, anything goes. But they're not.
Is it
on
5, 6,
dance
7,
night.
8?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything.
Saturday night. Yes. But obviously when you're actually doing your dance nights at various clubs and pubs and bars around the island, people are more coming to see you, so they're coming to see a certain style of music. So that's when you specialise in your, what say, 88 to 2005, which is pretty much what this show is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite ideal for you. So are you having any, or have you got any residencies at the moment or anything in the pipeline?
I have me set bank holiday nights, which am I allowed to mention? I do in Quids Inn, which is normally Easter, end of May bank holiday, and August bank holiday. If I'm not at Creamfields, I do frequent Creamfields quite regular. And
as,
then,
as a spectator.
yeah, I'd love to play, but I don't think I'm quite in that bracket. But no, as a spectator, I was there for the 20th in 2007. I've been 8 times since 2002 up to 2017. I think I've been 8 times, so fairly.
Yeah.
But if I'm not away for any of the festivals or stuff, I do Quids into August bank holiday. I did a successful stint in Nexus, which was just under 2 years. And also had 3 long stints in Bordellos, a 3 months, a 6 months and a 9-month stint, but that was going back sort of 2010, 12, around there, maybe 2014. But yeah, I enjoyed Bordellos, but what I understand about Bordellos is Gio likes to keep it fresh. You know what I mean? He likes to rotate the DJs, which is fair enough, and you know he likes to change things over. So 3 good stints in there as well.
Okay, well, in around about, it's about half an hour now, you're actually going to DJ live for us here in the studio at Manx Radio. So we'll chat to you again then, and also chat to you about the music that you've selected for your stint. And you brought some spares with you as well, but I beat you to it with the songs. So yes, we had a little bit of a rethink of what we're going to play for you, and that'll be around about 8:15.